Right, we're good to go back racing again. We know that Wayne Hoffman has been taken to the medical facility, and we're just waiting to hear that all is good on that side. Pretty sure it should be okay, but yeah, let them just check everything out and take it from there.
So, part 2 of race 2 then, and I'm trying to think how many laps did we actually get. I think we got 1 lap, or was it 2 laps that we got underway before that all kicked off? Because we lost one before the race even started.
Yeah, it looks like we've got 7 laps to go on this one. It hasn't changed on our timing screen. Probably clerk of the course has gone back to the lap scorers and said, okay, leave it exactly like it is. So we'll be able to get this one underway. So once again, we'll have the opportunity to watch David Joubert and Gary Kisveta go one-on-one. Roberto Franco and Divan Wenzel. That lovely Porsche. Divan loves to drive that one. Sandro Bakari, he had a nice big umbrella out to protect him from the sun earlier on while they were standing on the grid with that beautiful red mean machine of Sandro Bakari, the VW Juno S3. There you see him in the middle of your picture right now. Beautiful motor car that, as they work their way through. Great to see Divan Wenzel back out on circuit again. He's been around all the years wherever he's had an opportunity to race numerous different vehicles through the years. Back out there on circuit. Jannie Hatzi, Martin Pugh, Connor Kilbride. Andre Steenkamp. I was trying to find Andre Steenkamp this morning to go and say hi to him. He's also one of our avid iRacers on Sports and GT Masters. Commonly known now in Season 16 as the Masters Series as such. iRacing going live on Second Gear Productions on YouTube on a Wednesday night at 9:15. And that's based pretty much on Wishram Sports and GT from Killarney International Raceway. That's where the whole thing started out, with Dr. Mike Verrier being very much involved with initiating that whole series. So it's going to be 2 mean machines leading out a whole bunch of mean machines out there. Janetta LMPs. David, seems like you like these Janettas. It kind of works for you.
I have a big soft spot in my heart for these beautiful, beautiful LMP2 machinery, more akin to the European Le Mans Series and international racing. Of course, Daytona 24 was a couple of weeks ago, but we go racing again for race 2 of the Warwick SP and GT sports cars, and it's going to be down the inside again. That's going to be the Novo Proto of Gary Kiswe, of David Joubert. Tries to get the whole shot, and again they're still side by side. This is exactly what you want to see on lap 1 of the restart. The Ginetta takes the inside line into 2, says thank you very much, and that is going to be Gary Kieswetter getting some sweet, sweet revenge, as we've got the best of the rest behind, and that is going to be, I think, Divan Wenzel trying to get the inside line on Rob Franco.
Divan Wenzel just got cut off there pretty badly. Roberto Franco said, you're not going through yet, my boy, just hold on a little bit. In there behind that little battle is Jannie Hatzi and Sandro Bakari.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful stuff as they're going through in towards the saddle sweep then for the first time of asking on this restart. We're watching from P3 all the way down. You've also got Sandro Bakari in that stunning number 3 VW Juno S3 side by side, and that is going to be, I think, that's going to be Jannie Hatzi that he's side by side with. They think better of it as they get into Cape Town corner for the first time. But here we go then. You see on screen, you get all of the graphics they're telling you, all of the different classes at the top. But there is your race leaders, Gary, down at turn 1, and oh, that was very, very close from Joubert.
Gary Kisveta from David Joubert. 2 of them driving away from the rest of the pack, the Class S cars. And then in behind that is Roberto Franco. That's having a pretty decent drive just ahead of Divan Wenzel, Jannie Hatzi, Sandro Bakari. Martin Pugh, and then there's Connor Kilbride with his left-hand drive BMW from Andre Steenkamp, just ahead of Fourie and Swanefelder in the Nissan, and then a bit of a gap back behind Swanefelder to Smith and Volskenk. It's having their own little battle.
Yeah, they're having a fantastic one. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, that's Volskenk in. It looked remarkably like the car I saw this morning with the Coca-Cola livery on. I wasn't here for race one, so you'll have to excuse me on that one. But we go back to the Killarney Straight here, and again, it's just a gaggle of millions and millions of rands worth of sports car and GT machinery.
Unbelievable stuff. There's Robert Franco, and right behind him we've got Divan Wenzel, Yanni Hatzi and Sandro Bakari. That was that group of cars you saw come out of turn number 5, out of Cape Town corner. And that's a 4 cars that's racing down towards turn number 1, towards Block Point corner. Rob Franco, Divan Wenzel, Yanni Hatzi and Sandro Bakari as they come through with Martin Pugh in there behind him, followed there by Connor Kilbride, then Andre Steenkamp, and then we've got Marius Fourie in the Mercedes-Benz SLK making his way into Block Point behind Steenkamp.
But we cut back to the leaders then, the two LMPs. It's the Novo Proto 02 against the Ginetta LMP G57. The Ginetta is out in the lead just now, but I wonder for how long Davi Joubert has had the pace on that car all weekend long here, and I wonder if it's just a case of bedding the tyres in, and that's wide there from Kieswetter into the final corner at Cape Town.
While heading towards Castle Corner, that SLK Mercedes-Benz of Marius Fourie slowed right down. He's picking up the pace again. But that Merc is in trouble, working its way out of Cashel. As you watch the front runners, the 2 leaders, Gary Kieswetter, Davi Joubert, 0.4 of a second between them as they make their way through Block Point corner. These 2 Ginettas are chasing each other around, working their way along the Joubert Straight towards Cashel corner. Now we're waiting for the rest to come through. Here comes Roberto Franco. Behind Roberto Franco, we have got Divan Wenzel. Behind Wenzel, we've got Yanni Hatzi and Sandro Bakari. Lovely Audi R8 there of Robert Franco as he works his way. Well, Roberto Franco, we just call him Robert or Rob, as he sits there ahead of Divan Wenzel, Yanni Hatzi and Sandro Bakari, and Martin Pugh just there in the background.
Yeah, it looks like Sandro Bakari being left a little bit there as we cut back to see Martin Pugh. There is Connor Kilbride then just making his way through too as well. And just in the background you can see that is going to be Andre Steenkamp in the number 46 car. Beautiful to see so many of these prototype type cars, the open tin top. Just such a great car.
Now that's the Juno of Andre Steenkamp as we hear these Ginettas thunder into turn number 1, into Block Point corner. It's a thunderation of these 2 LMP2 sports cars that is working their way out of Block Point corner. Slower cars just keeping right out the way of these 2 awesome machines that is working their way through Castrol corner.
I'm telling you right now, Davi Joubert absolutely has the pace to take this right now. Did the fastest lap of the race last time there as we go a little bit further down. But there we go into what is effectively lap traffic. Since when would you ever say a Mercedes SLK V8 is lap traffic, Frankie?
Well, he had problems out going into Cashel earlier on, did Marius Fourie, and he just keeps that SLK right out the way of these 2 P2 sports cars, these 2 Ginettas, as they rumble down the Killarney Straight towards Cape Town corner.
And you can see now Davi Joubert thinking about it, but that is Divan Wenzel in 4th position there, the number 48 Porsche. That livery looks absolutely resplendent on that machine. Just behind him is Yanni Hatzi. Then we've got Sandro Bakari in 6th position. Martin Pugh is in 7th as well. There is, again, just a very iconic car there of the number 3 of Sandro Bakari.
Yeah, it's a lovely machine there of Sandro Bakari. Been racing sports and GTs for many years, as well as the iRacing Master Series, as these 2 Ginettas work their way through Castrol corner. And Davi Hubert has done a 1:09.709. Wow, that is quick. That is quicker than 1000cc superbikes as the two of them work their way through Damsdip.
Yeah, there was almost a chance there for Davi Joubert as they got past one of those lapped cars there. Thinks better of it, but again, he's so menacing in the shadow of Gary Kieswetter right now. We've got, what, 2 laps to go, so it's going to have to be now or never, Frankie. There is really not all that much time.
Yeah, there isn't much time, that's for sure. There is Robert Franco and... what happened to Robert Franco? He's dropped all the way down to P6 because that's Martin Pugh that is in there behind him. And he was ahead of Divine Wenzel at one stage of the game, so he picked up problems and has lost a lot of ground.
Yeah, 133, Frankie. Great spot on that one. So he's obviously had a big moment early on as the leaders go down into the first corner then for the final time. That lap traffic might be the deciding factor because Davi Joubert losing out the pace there. In fact, actually, hang on. I just noticed Gary Kieswetter is now, or was showing in the lead very briefly there. So it is still, sorry, the Janetta, excuse me, my brain's melting in the sun, ahead of Davi Joubert in that Novo Proto.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be done with that traffic, but he's coming straight back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there they go, up the Joubert Straight for the final time today in the Warwick Health Sports and GTs. Through the double right-hander, turn 4, Sarl sweep, onto the back Kalani Straight they race. For the final time today, it's only straight with a curve, but in any case, it's about 800 meters long, or pretty close to it, I would say, as they go through Cape Town corner, and Davi Hubert is trying to find a way around Gary Kieswetter. Kieswetter will climb on the loud pedal. The checkered flag will be coming out now. Kieswetter comes home ahead of Davi Hubert by 0.2 of a second.
What a finish there. Gary Kieswetter in control of that race, but only just ahead of Davi Joubert. Third place is going to be Divine Wenzel across the line shortly. That was Andre Steenkamp in 9th position. We saw 1 lap down, and again, such is the pace of the LMP2s. I think this actually might be the D-Class car of Brett Svanevalder in 10th position there. So again, seeing Marius Fourie, but there we go. There's the Porsche of Divine Wenzel, and Frankie, I think he can be very happy with 3rd place and a lead in his class.
Yeah, well done. It's a one-off, Divan was telling me in the pit area early on. He will finish in that 3rd spot. Yanni Hatzi will come home P4 and 2nd in class with that Nissan as he crosses the line. And then here comes Sandro Bakari in that red machine to finish 3rd in class and 5th overall. Robert Franco has fought his way up to P6 with Martin Pugh in there behind him.
And we've got to say as well, congratulations to Conor Kilbride as he comes across the line for taking the Class D honours in that 2nd race as well. He gets that done as well. And then taking Class C is, as we saw, that number 46 of Andre Steenkamp. 1 lap down, but taking the win for Class C. Well, look, I mean, obviously that race had it all. We had drama, we had a little bit of a stoppage with the red flag. We lost Simeon Penev, we lost Wayne Hoffman after that brutal accident on the exit of turn 3. But for everyone else, it's an excellent day at the office.
And Conor Kilbride was the last driver on the lead lap, and